session, lesson, lesson, whatever we want to call it. Challenge your teachers and their teachings. Got a quote from my man. If you don't know who this is James Baldwin. And quote is, "The paradox of education is precisely this, that as one begins to become conscious, one begins to examine the society in which he is being educated." James Baldwin. Yes. Anybody have any ideas what they think this means?
You said
Look
what?
at it. Any ideas? I know before I quote it.
Of what this means?
Because she's sharp. Yeah, what this means. What do you think this quote means? Paradox of education is precisely this, that as one begins to become conscious, one begins to examine the society in which he is being educated.
That's exactly what we kind of was talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Like, it's literally exactly what we were saying.
Anybody?
I feel like as you gain more knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
you start to realize that like everything you've been told since you were little
Mm-hmm.
is not necessarily true. Like you're supposed to think outside the box. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so with that being said, what was the name of this message? Anybody remember? Just that quick?
Educate yourself.
Challenge your teachers.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Challenge your teachers is the name of this message. You might want to write that down at the top. And your journal entry is going to be in your own words. In your own words. The effect that this has on you, right? So, Chris, you just said, thinking outside the box. The more you become educated, you start to do what?
I think that's what I'm
Think outside the box. Okay. So, here's my next question to you guys with this, right? Who are your teachers?
Parents?
Okay.
It's a tough one, though. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Guys? Elderly.
Could be coaching.
Coaches.
I think whoever makes you see the world in a different way, different than social norm, brings to the table for you.
Okay.
Elderly.
Your wheels are turning.
Everyone around you, I feel like, contributes to like what you're learning.
Okay. Danny.
To athletes.
Athletes. Okay. Let's go. All right. Who are we learning from? First on the list. Experience, trial and error. First on the list. Experience, trial and error. Even from a baby, you realize if you cry, your parents do what?
They give you what you want.
They give you what you want. They come running. From a baby. So experience and trial and error. Second on the list. Parents. Parents. Have any of you ever tried to hand a child something? You ever try to hand a child a toy, a piece of candy, or anything? You ever notice that because you're right-handed, when a child reaches out with the left hand, you tell them no with the other hand? You ever notice how that happens? Say no, give the other hand. Take it with the other hand. Subconsciously, you're teaching the kid to be right-handed. You don't even realize that. You'll probably be more conscious of it now. But I would notice this in my younger years that in handing a child something, the preference is the hand that you use. So automatically, you're wired to say no with the other hand. All right. Some of the other things that you may have learned from your parents. Anybody?
Proper etiquette.
Proper etiquette. Manners.
Religion.
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 Dope. Anybody else? Something you learned from your parents?
Political beliefs.
Political beliefs, yes. Very important. Religion, political beliefs, very important. Very important.
Hustle.
Hustle. Okay, hustle. Yeah. Business acumen. Okay.
How to work hard.
How to work hard. Same. Hustle, work hard. Yep. Same. values and morals. Cool. How many of us challenge those things? Right, you don't count. You count, but you don't have one.
I'm not.
Your life has forced you
Yeah.
to be, to challenge what you see. When you've had to deal with so much negative, unless you want to become a negative individual, you have to challenge those things in order to find your way to the other side, right? So that's what I'm saying you don't count. You're an exception.
Challenge small things, nothing big. Challenge small
Small
things,
things.
but nothing really.
What small
fancy.
things do we challenge?
Like putting dishes and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So the things that would actually be beneficial, you don't challenge.
Yeah.
It depends on what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to do something, so that's where you
Yeah.
challenge.
Oh, okay, so it's attached to laziness.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Challenge the
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
that affect your comfort level,
Yeah.
but not necessarily the things that could change your life,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? How many times have you seen like a friend, or maybe even yourself, forced into a career that they don't want to be in, but because the parents feel like this makes good money and it's stability, they go in that direction. All right, so we understand that in our list of teachers who we have here, as parents, they're giving us our first take on life. But keep in mind, I'm not asking you to challenge authority. I'm not asking you to do this in a defiant way. I'm asking you to do it in a way that allows you to reveal who you are and what you're passionate about. The reason why a lot of us have a hard time finding out what we're passionate about is because we have everyone else's teachings in our brain. And a lot of times those teachings can be in direct conflict with what's in the heart. And the things that your parents may be worried about sometimes, you may not be worried about. But I want you to hold on to this. We're gonna go a step further. Okay, next, family members. We all have that influential cousin, aunt, uncle, grandparent, brother, sister, right? You come up with a bright idea, and their job is to shoot it down. That's what they do. Or we all have that, family member who's not so much on the straight and narrow, and every time you hang with them, you know it's gonna be something questionable that you expected to do. Even if it seems legit, there's gonna be something negative involved with it, some way, somehow. We all know that. So family members. Next, I think this is huge, right? Friends. Sometimes friends can have a greater influence on us than even our parents, than even our trial and error, even our experiences. We can know that something is inherently wrong. We know we shouldn't be doing this. But what we see our friends obtain materialistically is enough of a motivator for us to consider experimenting. You could come from a family of addicts, see the effects of drugs, and completely forget these effects when a friend suggests that you try said drug. Even though you've previously said, I'll never do drugs. Now that's on the, extreme level, right? I don't think, as much as, drug usage is what it is, I think peer pressure is a little bit different today. I think peer pressure operates a little bit different. It's kind of like if you have that desire, you just tend to flock towards the people that are already engaging in these activities, right? It's not necessarily somebody shoving drugs in your face. It doesn't happen that way. It's kind of like an antiquated way of dealing with peer pressure. We have to change with the times. Okay, it's more of a subconscious thing too, right? Because we're listening to these different vibrations, music, on a regular basis that encourage us to indulge. We don't even realize it because we're falling asleep with this music on. We're waking up to this music. We're working out to this music. We're riding to this music. And it's get high, get wasted, it's lit. You know how many artists rap about this stuff and they don't even use the drugs? Like, that's the crazy part. There's so many artists that rap about indulging in these things, and they themselves don't indulge in it. They fake it to make you think that they're even high or they're trippy. It's lit,
They rap about the stuff they do in GTA.
right? So, only to find out that this is not what's going on. But again, you're being taught, and rather than challenge, what do? We sing along. We sing along. Again, like we talked about in the adversity class, right? If you stay in the barbershop long enough, you get a haircut. If you hang around with dudes that's doing what they're doing, look, it's not for me to decide whether this is right or wrong. That's for you guys to decide. I ain't gonna ask you, what's wrong with it. I'm gonna just ask you what's right with it. Whatever you decide, it's on you. I'm not here to, that's not my thing. You guys are all old enough to make your own decisions. And despite what anyone tells you, again, despite what anyone tells you, like we said, right? What do we challenge? The things that what?
That are small and
The things that affect our comfort zone. Those are the only things that we challenge. So if you're very comfortable partaking in drug usage, guess what you're gonna do? If you're comfortable with the idea of even trying it, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna do it, right? We're gonna get a little deeper than this. This is like surface stuff, baby stuff, You may or may not run into this, who knows? Okay? Music. Here we go. It may not be drugs. It might be that Benz. Might be the shorty with the fatty. I'm just saying. You might not even be ready for all of that. You might not even be ready for the expectation of what comes with that lifestyle. The things that you have to engage in to partake in that lifestyle. It's all about massaging the ego. That's what it really comes down to. It's not necessarily beneficial to you. It's just the ego. What it looks like. What you think is gonna make you feel like. But we don't challenge it though. We hear it, we accept it as law. In order for me to feel like I made it, in order for me to feel like I've arrived, I need that car. And once I got that car, everybody's gonna know. Let me tell you how crazy perception is, right? Brand new Ultimate might run you about $24,000 fully loaded, right? Brand new Ultimate, 24 grand. A used 2009, 2010 Range Rover with about 200,000 miles on it, probably gonna cost you about $6 grand, maybe $8 grand. That might be too high because we all know the problems Ranges have later on in life, but that might be too high. But let's just say, for argument's sake, in the middle, $7,000, right? Now D pulls up with his brand new, fully loaded Ultimate, and I pull up with my high mileage, used to be Range Rover. Who's more successful? Perception. Who's more successful?
The Rover.
The Rover's perceived to be more successful. You can't see my mileage. You don't know how much I paid for the Range Rover. You just know that it's a Range Rover. And if I hop out and I got Alexander McQueen's on my feet, I look the part. At which point, the jewels on my neck can even be fake. But would you question it? You don't have a diamond tester in your pocket. So you're not going to challenge what I'm teaching you at this point. But what am I teaching you? That this is what success looks like. Perception is everything. Right? Okay, move on to the next thing. Social media. Now that's your favorite drug. Social media is now your current drug of choice.
That's crack.
What crack was to my generation is what Instagram, TikTok, and the rest of these social media platforms is to your generation. You guys are addicted. Whether you realize it or not, you're addicted. Like we talked about before, right? You put up a picture that don't get a certain amount of likes, you're taking that picture down. you gonna repost it again. Maybe add a different filter to it. Maybe the light didn't hit right. You gotta try this again. You gotta try this again, baby.
That's perception.
When you post something, how long before you check back to see how many likes you got? Who's teaching you to do this? This didn't come from your experiences and trial and error, right?
Absolutely not.
It certainly didn't come from your parents because they don't even know what to call it half the time. Your TikToks and your whatever the grams things are you guys are doing, right? Family members, half of you guys don't even engage with your family members on because that's some of the stuff you don't want them to see because you don't want nobody telling on you. The rest of the time that's not legit. You don't want to interact with your cousins and all that. You want the other attention, outside attention. So it's not coming from that. It's coming from friends. Somewhat. There's something I left off this list. Go through it. We got social media. We got books and teachers last because you guys don't really like to read a lot. We don't like to jump with books. Great deal. Relax. Y'all about to jump out y'all seats right here. We're talking about in general. When I say you guys, I'm saying the generation in general, which again can be challenged because we'll repost, but not necessarily books. Right? So maybe if you find something you're interested in, you'd be more inclined to want to read. Okay. Lastly, teachers. The reason why teachers are last is what did you learn from the teachers, guys? No clue. I mean, personally, I read books all through high school, but I only remember one just because the teacher was late. I told y'all, I was Lord of the Flies. Mr. Blank, he taught that class, and it was dope, and that was my man, and maybe a few other teachers I remember, but for the most part, teachers were super ineffective in my life. Like, it was not, I felt like, but we're gonna touch on that. We're gonna touch on why that is. Okay, so, if none of these influence this, who's influencing?
I was just gonna say, like society, like celebrities. Yeah. Like
We're gonna keep blaming society for our
I'm
issues.
gonna say celebrities.
We're gonna blame celebrities, okay?
Well, I guess ourselves.
We're gonna have to, whoa, what do we say?
Ourselves.
Who's the biggest teacher?
So,
So
Based on what? Not other people, what you choose to accept. What you refuse to challenge. You were taught by what you refuse to challenge. What you accept becomes your teacher. If you grow up in the hood, you have a what type of mindset? You have a hood mindset. But if you challenge that, what happens?
you step
You step out
out of your comfort zone.
of your comfort zone, you leave the hood. If you have an entitled mindset, because your parents are just trying to provide a better life for you. They're not intentionally making you entitled. They're just trying to give you what they didn't have. So at what point does it stop becoming your parents' fault? Your friends, your family members, society? And when does it turn on you? When do you make the decision that you want just a little bit more out of life? When does that happen?
choosing what happened.
So who's really in control of what we know? So when do we take control of these things?
You choose to.
How many of us have been? I have an unfair advantage standing here because I know I took the time to build with each one of you individually. So I know personal stuff about you guys. So you can't hide. You can't hide. Like I know exactly what points affect you. Right? Chris was with me in junior high school, got away from me in high school, and things went this way. Basketball wise. Not because he wasn't talented. Teaching was different. The influence was different. What he was allowed to believe about himself was different. So I got my favorite phone call. Yo, This ain't working, bro. I gotta get back with you. I know. Welcome back. Missed you while you was gone. Come on back. Am I setting up the cones any different than anybody else? There's only so many ways you can set up the cones. Come on, y'all. What we talking about here? Guys is full of themselves. It's ego driven. Look, let me simplify the game to you. The ball goes down to the floor, comes back up to your hands. You move forward, you shoot the ball at the little round thing. If it goes in, you score. If it doesn't, you try to get the rebound. If not, you get back on defense. It's a very simple game, man. It's simple. It's not complex. You run up and down, you pass, you receive, you shoot, you defend. There's only so many ways you can teach that. So obviously, it's not about that. It's about this. How are you allowing yourself to be influenced? We see it all the time. The Instagram trend, it's 37 minutes. Looks great. He got 50,000 likes. That's who I need to be my trainer. I'm gonna go there. Then I'm gonna make it. Okay. Right? Oftentimes in life, we mistake busyness with business. Think about what I'm saying. A lot of you guys have a lot of activity going on, but no progress. That's what's going on in life. Like and the activity is here. It's not even actual activity. You're more busy in your brain than you are actually taking care of business. In your brain, you have so much to do. Right? There's this long list of things that you have to do. But when you reflect on your day, what did you actually get done? How much did you accomplish on your to-do list? That's the scary part, right? Like, we all know the formula. We know the formula. If I ask you, Chris, what does it take to be successful in basketball? Like, what do you have to do? What lifestyle do you have to adopt? What would you say? Give me 5 things that you have to do.
Work hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's obviously. You gotta. You can't really, in my opinion, you can't really party like that much.
Right.
You could balance it, but
Mhm.
you can't really be.
2 things, okay.
You have to, like, when you have an opportunity, you have to make sure you gotta take it. You can't be scared.
Mm-hmm.
Your mindset has to be on a different level. And honestly, that's what I got.
But that's what you got, okay. How much of that do you do 100% every day?
Every day,
Every day. Dreams don't take days off.
probably like 2 of them. The first 2 I said.
So first 2, you
Yeah.
got.
Yeah.
So you're 50% of the way. So you're only putting in 50% of something that you already have the answers to. So let me show you guys what that is, right? Look at what you're teaching yourself. Despite having all of the answers, you're only going to go 50%. What happened to the other 50%? It's outside of your what? So what are you teaching yourself over and over? To do what? 50%. Work towards comfort. See, the way I set this up is to make you think that these are your teachers. You're going to get some things from them. Surface level things you're going to get from them. But most of you guys are not listening to your parents. Most of you guys are frustrated and annoyed by your parents. They get on your nerves. Most of you guys don't even like society. You don't like what you see going on in society. Most of you guys know that what you see on social media is not real. You know this. But yet when we go over who's your teachers, you name all the things that you pay very little attention to. These are the things that matter the least. But when we talk about it, these are the things that you say matter the most. And the one thing we leave out is who? And when we analyze self, what do we realize self likes to do? Be comfortable. Self says only 50% of the work. That's all I feel like doing. That's why you can have an itemized list on your wall of all the things that you have to do for the day. And you might knock out the first 3 or 4, but the rest of those are going to get left for another day. So when I say challenge your teachers, who am I telling you to challenge? Yourself, man. Challenge yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's your name on the paycheck. At the end of the day, it's your name on the degree. At the end of the day, you get all the accolades, all the awards. So if it's all about you, you have to teach you something different. All right, let's move on. Where do teachers earn their stripes? We established who the teacher is now, right? We understand that the teacher's not, it's not outward, right? It's not external, it's internal. Right? So, where do you earn your stripes? You are your teacher. Where do you earn your stripes? Experiences, okay. How do we create experiences? What do we have to do in order to create experiences? Opportunity, okay.
Take action.
Mm-hmm.
Just like live, go on the world. You know what I'm
Take
saying?
risks.
Yeah.
Take risks. How do you earn your stripes? Take a risk. When's the last time you took a risk? That was directly connected to where you want to be in life.
Like, cause there's like small risks, like,
Any risk, doesn't matter, small or big. When's the last time you took a risk that was directly connected to where you wanted to be?
okay, right before I went on vacation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know the berries is not really like bad projects,
Mhm.
right? But like, I went at like, I didn't work out that day, and I was
Mhm.
gonna go on a plane to, like, remember I said I was on vacation like 6 a.m.
Yep.
And it was like 11 and 12 at night, and I needed to work out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yo, I'm gonna just go to the berries like midnight workout.
Yeah.
Even though it's not really like a bad project,
sure.
but like.
The location doesn't matter.
Yeah, but like hooping
It's
in
the
the
mindset
projects,
that
yeah,
right.
just like hooping in the projects till midnight is not
Mhm.
really like, it's a risk, you know
For sure,
what I'm saying?
for sure.
So yeah, that's.
Forget the location.
Yeah.
Forget the location. The fact that at that time of night, you decided, I know I'm not gonna be able to do it tomorrow, so let me get it in today, and then come back, go to sleep, and do what I gotta do. That's the focal point right there. That's the real risk. Because you stepped outside of your comfort zone. Right? Anybody else? When was the last time you took a risk towards something that was directly connected to your dream, your goal? It's okay if you don't have one. I just want you to think about this now because we're talking about something that we supposedly love, right? So if we can't commit and take risks for the things that we love, then how do we achieve these things? Because it's all risk-based. Because there's no guarantees, right? There's no guarantee that if you work hard, it's going to pay off. Waking up is a risk. You can step outside of your house and a car jump the curb and stand alive. Just like that.
Every day.
God forbid, I hope it doesn't happen, but 10 years from now, somebody could not be here anymore. We don't know. We've all lost somebody. And we've all lost young people. Right? We don't know. Every day is a risk. So if you're going to have to deal with that anyway, look at how many risks that we take. You know, like you believe that every time you're going to be able to breathe out. You believe that. You believe that when you blink, your eyes are going to open back up. What happens if you blink one day and they don't open up?
Shut up.
It's that easy that things can change, right? So take risks towards the things that you believe in. Push yourself. We talked about ending the class that last week. I'm sorry, Monday. We talked about creating your own adversity, right? When you create your own adversity, that's your risk. If you know you want to get to a certain level, yeah, this is great, but all I'm trying to do is teach you what to do on your own. Like, I love the fact that you guys come here. It gives me purpose. I love this. This part of it is way more important to me than even that. Because if you get this, I know that that is going to be nothing. It's going to be like a walk in the park. But eventually that ball stops bouncing, and then what happens? You guys become tomorrow's CEOs. And then I don't have to worry because you guys will all be paid and wealthy, and I'm good. Because look at the connection that I have. Humor me. Imagine if everybody in this room becomes a millionaire. If everybody in this room, by the age of 25, becomes a millionaire, and I don't want to, you gotta have more than $1 million, because if you spend a penny, and all you have is $1 million, you know $1 million. So let's just say 2 million, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So I have a $16 million net worth. It's possible. If you take risks. That's the thing, like, I hope you guys' wheels are turning, man, because it's like, yo, it's cool to think about basketball. That's dope. But how are you using the game instead of letting the game use you? Some of you guys have been a victim of basketball. You guys have been victims up to this point. You're playing it, you're not even happy. Some of you guys can't even remember the last time you actually enjoyed playing the game. This is becoming one of the few places that you actually have fun in. It feels all inclusive. Most of the time you guys go and it's a grueling process and it feels like a waste of time and you're questioning why you're even putting yourself through those things with those people. Let's be honest, guys. Like, look, some days you come in here and I'm on you and we're getting after it. And other days, I'm chilling. And you may not understand that. You may not understand that. And it might simply be because I see something is wrong. I see that today you might need a little bit more love and a little less yelling. See your body language. I see it. I see it. If I know what you just went through, when you come back, what's my job now? It's not to push you. That ain't it. If you got pain in your eyes and in your voice, my job is when you come through that door, to love you. As a result of feeling love, what are you going to do?
Get over it.
You're going to get over it, and then now you're able to work what?
It's better to just grow.
Harder. You grow. But if I put basketball first, what happens? It feels like every other place, right? Because now I'm coaching you to carry out my agenda, not yours. That's the thing that separates me from everybody else. My agenda is you, not my reputation and accolades. I'm cool. If I wasn't, then I would post a whole lot more. I'm more excited about this. You want to see me? I'll post this all day. I'm more excited about this because I know what you're getting. Right? All right, so let's move on to this. Vetting the teachers. Who we learn from should be proven. If we truly understood the purpose and impact of teachers on our lives, how much more serious would we or should we take their track records for developing leaders? How many difficult problems have their teaching solved? Okay, so now this goes to actual teachers, like when you're building, we talked about building your team, having that network around you. On Monday, we talked about that, right? So when we have actual teachers, we need to, just like you, I'm telling you guys to select your friends, okay? Vet your teachers. Look for your teachers that have a proven track record. It's important that we do this. Think about this. Let me show you how funny this is. This is crazy. When you guys go to get pizza, you have your smartphones. I told you we have smartphones, but we moved on. When you guys go to get pizza, right? How do you choose your pizzeria?
Area.
Area.
Close.
Why don't you guys Google the best pizza around you? Any pizza will do. Whatever's closest.
Just did that.
Whatever's closest. Most of the time, the pizza is what at best? Average. It's average at best. It's not an experience, it's just cheese and dough and sauce. You've had better. Now, we all have a favorite pizzeria, right? But when we choose pizza, how often do we go to that pizzeria? Think about all the times you've had pizza in your area. And think about how many times you've chosen your favorite pizzeria. Let's think about this. All right, you guys are sick. We need a doctor. Did you choose the best doctor in your area?
Oh, hell no.
Or do you just choose the doctor that will see you?
The doctor that wants to give you the vaccine.
So we ain't vetting the doctor at all.
I'd
We
rather not.
ain't gonna vet the doctor at all.
I'd
We
rather
don't,
not get
we don't
vaccinated.
know, the doctor could have got all C's his entire time in medical school. Just barely made it.
That's why I don't go there no more.
He ain't discovered nothing new. He ain't at the cutting edge of technology or nothing. We go in there, we let the nurse come in, stick you. We don't know how nice this nurse is with the needles. We don't know.
Doing whatever.
Yo, now that I think about it, it's like now, like if if like let's say we all have kids in our
Mhm.
generation, and if our kids get sick, they're gonna have to go to doctors who barely passed online school.
Yeah.
I mean,
You don't go to the doctor.
if you have problems with your car, who's the best mechanic in your area?
Don't know.
You just go into Pep Boys or Jiffy Lube or, right?
Don't. Yeah.
I remember one time my boy let me hold his car in college, right? And I took his car to get an oil change. And when he hit me back, he was like, yo, where did you take this car to get the oil change? I'm like, right over there to the Jiffy Lube. He like, yo, they capped off the oil with a spark plug.
Wow. Wow.
We're not vetting our teachers. We're not vetting anything in our lives. So listen, let me show you guys this. If everything you accept in life is average, what will you be? At what point do you start to say, you know what? I need to just, like, even when we're choosing schools, we're not choosing like the best possible school we can go to. We're not choosing the best possible school. We're not. We're not. We're not choosing a school with the best teachers, the most creative, true visionaries. We're not doing any of that. We're just accepting it, whatever comes with it. Let me show you guys this. This is funny, and I don't mean to offend any of your friends. So if any of your friends see this and we share it, I hope I'll probably leave this part out. I won't post this part. You'll have to watch the YouTube video. Okay? You think you chose your friends. Your environment chose your friends for you.
Oh.
Because if I gave you the opportunity to line everybody, every single living human being in the world, if I gave you an opportunity to line all these people up across the wall and pick 10 friends, how many of you would pick the friends that you have right now? How many of your current friends would get picked?
Yeah. That is crazy.
I'm just saying.
That is crazy.
So if you feel that way, did you really pick your friends? You kind of just took whatever was available. Then you wonder why you have such a hard time trying to accomplish certain things in your life, because you are wired, you have taught yourself to take whatever's available. Whatever's there. You treat life like, I'm hungry, let me open the fridge and see what's in here. I'm gonna eat whatever's there. That's how you go through life. Whatever's available, I'm gonna whip it up, and that's what I'm gonna deal with. I'm gonna accept. Do you guys realize you have teachers that in school, right? They could have been absolute cornballs when they was in school.
Seen that.
And you're letting them tell you whether you're good enough or not. You pass, you fail. You're smart, you're dumb. Let me see your transcript, teacher. See what your grades look like. Let me see what your grades look like. Who you hung out with in high school? Some of y'all are having problems with teachers just because you're cool. You're just cooler than they was in school. They don't like that. You remind them of everything that they wasn't. And you think your parents are going to understand when you say, yo, this teacher don't like me. You probably pissing teachers off because your perspective. The way you think, the way your mind works. It's frustrating. Who's this little black girl that she talking to? You think like you've been here before? You smarter than me? So now I'm going to make it more challenging for you because you think you're so smart. This is what you're going to encounter in life. You guys understand this? Danny, you're going to limit yourself. You limit yourself all the time, bro. It drives me crazy. You see all the limitations, none of the possibilities. That's the tough part. Jairus does the same thing. He only sees where he messes up. He doesn't see what he's good at. He doesn't see, like instead of him looking and saying, like, there are kids right now, as much older than you, right? That you're taller than. And that doesn't mean anything to you. The only thing you can focus on is where you mess up. And so when you focus on that, you just mess up more. You guys do understand that you become whatever your focus is, right? If you focus on the negative, history repeats itself because we keep living in history. That's why it repeats itself. It doesn't just repeat itself, you repeat it. You say the same things over and over. I'm this, I'm that, I can't, I won't, I don't know how. This is what you tell yourself. But if we start vetting our teachers, if we start vetting ourselves, like you listen, you gotta get to the point where you're like, am I even qualified to advise myself for this situation? Am I qualified to say whether or not I can even make it? And the reason why I say this is because most of you guys are telling yourselves that you can't. It's too hard, it's too difficult. Are you qualified to make that decision? Are you qualified to disqualify yourself from something that seems difficult? I'm gonna say that again. Are you qualified to disqualify yourself from something that seems difficult? A lot of you guys are backing away from things that could change your life forever because you've convinced yourself that you aren't qualified to do it. So when like young black kids tell me they want to go to the NBA, I'm not impressed. Why?
So much more.
Huh?
So much more.
So much more. Because I know why most kids want to go to the NBA. It's not because they love basketball, because if that was the case, the men's leagues at the Y would be, they'd be popping. It'd be so competitive. Why do most kids want to go to the NBA?
Bread and fame.
The money and the fame. The money and the fame. If teachers got paid more,
Everybody will be a
you
teacher.
should be lining up to be teachers. Influence, man. So, and who's teaching you guys this?
Yourself.
You telling yourself this. I promise y'all, I'm starting in this classroom, but eventually I'm gonna be teaching corporate America. Same things I'm teaching you now. I'm gonna cash out. Mark my words. I'm gonna make NBA money doing this.
In North Carolina.
But I'm gonna be around the world. North Carolina is just gonna be where I live. That's gonna be headquarters. But you ain't putting me in no box. I'm out. I'm out. I might only be in North Carolina 6 months out of the year. Who knows? But mark my words, that's what's gonna happen. All right. So what would happen if you found something? Like, look, the barrier to entry is so great. I'm not trying to convince you that you aren't good enough for the NBA. I'm just trying to tell you that even if you are good enough, there's still a large chance that you won't make it. Because there's only how many slots?
370.
It's full on.
Only 400.
Every year, 30 get put in.
Mm-hmm.
Only 370. Because 30 got to get removed and 30 get put in.
That's it, bro. That's it, baby. That's it. 30. Woo!
Every year.
And you got kids that go to schools that nobody ain't never heard of in their life, averaging 12 points a game, Division 4. Talking about, I want to go to the NBA.
I'm trying to get to the league.
Trying to get to the league, baby. Okay. How many slots for doctors, lawyers, businessmen? How many slots for? It's the law of averages, baby. It's unlimited slots. You just got to qualify. You got to take the steps. You got to qualify. Now, I'm not telling you not to take basketball serious. The only thing I'm telling you is use the game. Use the game to pay for the education that will qualify you to get your money. Because the degree sometimes just gets you in the door. It's like a suit. That's all it is. It's just a suit. Oh. It's one of those guys. Look the part. That's all. That's the eliminator. That's how they eliminate people. Right? Because most people don't have a degree, so that's going to change soon. That's going to change soon. It's already changing. Because we're starting to see school for the business that it is. We're starting to see that. So it all comes down to skill set. What skills are you learning? Like I said, you guys got smartphones, but you moved on. What skills are you using that smartphone to teach you? You guys all have the ability to learn different languages on your phone. History, all that stuff. Bro, I had to use encyclopedias and dictionaries. Y'all got Google. I'm trying to tell you, I remember having to use numbers to send a text message. We had codes for shortcuts. I remember using a payphone. Like, technology is your best friend. You got it. You got it all. You got it all. And you're young. Do you know that, like, for most corporations, you are the target, you're in the target demographic? Corporations are building their entire business structure around what you like and what you pay attention to. That 18 to 25 range, that demographic, or 13 to 25, woo, you guys run the world. You run the world. It's like understanding the power that women have. Most women don't understand it. I know it's not, in the Me Too movement, it's not right to say that, but most women don't understand about it. Let me show you how crazy it is for women, right? If women decided that they like cowboys, all of y'all be walking around with 10-gallon hats and spurs on your boots.
That's just like how
Simile.
It'd be horses up and down the street. And everybody be
Some of the realest shit I've ever heard, bro.
power of influence. So don't let anybody shortchange you and make you think that you have to fight to be equal with men, because there's so much beauty and power in you being a woman. Just understand that. And get used to this is cool, because you might be in a boardroom where you're the only woman, and you have to be comfortable in your own skin and understand your power and your influence, and how to use that to get what you want. Not to be manipulative, but understanding that there's beauty in being a female. Be mindful of what you teach yourself about this. That's all I'm saying. We all have influence. We all have the ability to influence. You guys are, listen, you guys might be some of the most influential people in your circles. If you tell a crew, yo, we going over here, that's where everybody going. Yo, this is what we doing. I get homeboys that fight with me all the time. Yo, man, you don't never come with me to the club. Y'all don't never come with me to Barnes and Nobles. I don't care. Yo, bro, I don't never see you on the block. I don't never see you at the bank.
That's a fact, man. Seriously, so many people.
What we talking about here? You want me to be on somebody's corner? Talking about what it could have been and what it should have been? Y'all can miss me with that, bro. Influence. One of my rhymes, I said, I don't fall victim to peer pressure, I pressure my peers. Bro, I don't even say anything. People apologize for cursing around me. Oh, yo, man, yo, partner, smoke, my bad, bro. You good? You good? I'm straight, bro. That's your little drink, man. You good? Smoke away. Oh, you want something to drink? Nah, bro, I'm straight. Yo, man, you don't drink? Who don't drink?
Man, you sit down.
Hold on, bro. I don't say nothing about you about not having no glasses of water around here. Talk to me about alcohol. Like, what's up? I'm straight, yo, bro. I have no problem with people being who they are. I got all types of friends. Cornballs and cool dudes. Don't matter to me, just be who you are. I seen a meme one time, it was like, yo, I got friends that got the whole collection of Pokemon cards, and I got friends that'll shoot your head off your shoulders. I know people from all walks of life, bro. And now I let people do what they want to do. I don't pass judgment on anyone. Because I don't know anybody's story. I don't know what got you there. I don't know what made you the way that you are. I just live my life the way that works for me. And I'm not saying I got it all figured out. But I try to let my light shine and be an influence to people around me. If you go through my own neighborhood, bro, everybody gonna tell you the same thing about me. You've always been like that. I always been different. Yo, we about to rob this dude over there. I hold the bags, bro. I ain't. I watch everybody stuff. I'm chill right here. No, man, you ain't. I'm good. I'm good. I ain't doing that. I've been like this my whole life. Yo, we about to go over here to the shorty crib. We gonna run the train. I'm straight. Bro, you ain't trying. Nah, I'm good. Yo, we about to go on the roof. We gonna let the guns off. You coming? Where you going? I'm going to church, bro. I'll holler at you. I'm straight. That's my favorite thing, bro. I'm good. My favorite word growing up. I'm good. I've been saying this since the 90s. I'm good.
Cut off that.
I'm good. Yo, son took his mom's car. You want to? I'm good.
Hey, my bro.
There's certain things that are said in the community that guys uphold that I don't. And people laugh at me, but I know they really offended by the fact that I don't hold that up. There's a conversation going on in the community about snitching. And my statement was, if you get in my car and you got drugs on you, and we get pulled over, I'm gonna tell them your mama name, your first name, your last name, your sister name, your brother name, and where you stay. Yo, bro, how would you do something like that, bro? Come on, man. How you saying you ready to snitch? You ready to, bro? You know how I live my life. Respect how I live my life. If you get in my car and don't give me the option to decide whether or not I want to drive around with somebody who has drugs on them, guess what? I don't care about your life either. Everything is yours, bro. That's how we doing this. Otherwise, don't ask me for no rides. You know why I keep my car messy like that? Because I don't have to get nobody no rides, JT. Everybody know I don't have my car. I go through the neighborhood, I just beep and keep going. We cool. I'm good. Every time. What standards do you have set for yourself? What are you teaching yourself? What are you allowing to be around you that you're not speaking up against, that you might not be comfortable with? Yo, some of y'all got friends that are super average or super lazy, and it's not comfortable for you, but you still entertain these friendships with them. And you know that nothing comes from the friendship. In fact, you get pissed when you see their name pop up on the cell phone. Oh, this dude.
Oh my God, bro. Yo, oh my God.
So then you hype yourself up. Yo, what's good? He's telling you what's good, and you're like the. Alright, man. Oh, all right. Oh, okay, cool. And you keep the shit going, y'all.
That's nuts, man. That is nuts.
No benefit. And you keep it going. And you wonder why you can't get to where you want to be. That time that you spent answering the phone, talking to that dude, you can't get that time back. So if he has you on the phone for a 10-minute conversation, That's 10 minutes you could have used to put towards a skill. Reading a book on personal development. Watching a 10-minute clip that actually motivated you to do something that you want to do. Some of y'all got certain codes next to the name of the person that calls the phone. You know in your brain it says don't answer. It's going to be don't answer. And you answer it anyway. Some of you guys are in group chats that are pointless. Pointless.
I literally put on do not disturb,
And
that's the crazy thing.
But you still entertain it. So if we're doing that at the smallest level, like just think about it, bro. Like when you go get a job, you're just looking for a place to hire you. You will apply to a bunch of places that you don't even like. You know what they're gonna have you do when you get hired. When you get the job, you know you're gonna be cleaning out toilets, you're gonna be mopping the floor, you'll be doing a bunch of stuff you don't like doing. But you going home praying that they call you back. Then when you get the job, you praying every day that you get fired. I don't understand. You guys are signing up for things that you are saying is a blessing if it happens, knowing that on the back end it's going to be a burden. What are you teaching yourself? So look, if you do that now as teenagers and young adults, what's going to happen when you graduate from college and you go get a job?
It's the same concept.
You know how many, yo bro, I know so many people that got degrees and they got jobs that have nothing to do with the degree that they have. One of my closest friends has a degree in kinesiotherapy, right? Closest friend, he's a fire marshal. He's a fire marshal. Nothing bad about it, but it's like, bro, you did went to school for 5 years to get this degree. And you regulating fire codes? He loves it. But that's a lot of money to spend towards something that you ain't gonna do. I just want y'all to think about this. Everybody want to go into the medical field now. Everybody, I'm gonna be a nurse. I'm gonna be a nurse. I'm gonna be a nurse. It's a trend. Be a nurse.
No, it's really.
It's a trend. Bro, you walk through New York, everybody got scrubs on. I'm like, well, goddamn, what? Don't nobody else do anything else? And when we see this, we're influenced by this. We're telling ourselves, we're literally telling ourselves it's all about the money. It's not, y'all. It's not. It's not. It's a certain amount of money that I could pay you, and it's like, yo, it does, like the trade-off, it's not there. It's not there. What is something you absolutely hate? Tell me something you hate.
Just like standing or sitting mad long.
Okay. So now you graduate from college, and I give you a job working in a toll booth with no chair. You got to do 12-hour shifts, but I pay you $250,000.
I mean, I'll probably say yes at first.
Exactly. That's my point.
But then I'll start hating.
Exactly. This is my point.
That's a string.
Certain things got to be a hard no. That just ain't for me, baby. Yo, that's good money, but I'm going to die. I can't do that. It's not going to last long.
I'll get my first check and do
It's ridiculous, man. Think about it.
And it's hard to say no to these things, right?
Like to take myself
Because
out of the group chat.
here's something, listen, you guys have to understand the difference between an opportunity and a curse. And it can't always be attributed to money. Understand the difference. Some of y'all coming out of high school, the coach come and recruit y'all, yo, you come here, it's gonna be like this, boom, this is how we gonna run our system, everything's gonna be great, and you get there. And it's the complete opposite of everything the coach told you it was gonna be. All the smiles go out the window, this guy's a lunatic throwing chairs across the gym, losing his mind. And you thought you was gonna go to college and be a college athlete and enjoy your life playing basketball.
So let's go back to that toll thing.
Uh-huh.
So if you, let's say Christian does do the toll thing, it teaches himself that you can go through the worst thing in the world for yourself as long as you get a good paycheck.
Okay.
And you'll go through like doing that
You're
same thing.
gonna go
jumping
through and
up,
you'll
down.
always sign up for that. Nope.
Yeah,
Or satisfied.
exactly.
And that's the trade-off.
Your happiness
And
for
you
the
know,
bread.
as you said,
We're trading
Your happiness for the bread.
our happiness for money because we've taught ourselves that we can't have both. That's the trade-off. Hold on. Let me go this way. We're running out of time. We got like 7 minutes left. You will know a tree by its fruit. All right, we don't go into this. What fruit is produced? Okay, peaches don't grow on orange trees. Peaches don't grow on orange trees. No matter how many times you plant an orange tree, it's never going to yield peaches. Okay? We talk about friends. We talk about certain influences. You guys want certain things in your life. You want certain things to happen. Okay? You want peaches, but you're planting orange trees. Look, you said you know the rules to success, right? You know what it takes to get there. You only did 50%. That's an orange tree. That's not a peach tree. Right? Because you're not going to get what you want if you do that. If you pursue things that way, it's not what's going to happen. It's not going to click. It's not going to come together. Your friends, your music, your content that you consume, the things that you engage with on social media, all of these things have to be in alignment with the life that you say you want. And the sooner you do that, the sooner you'll start walking the path of the life that you want. Watch what you allow you are creating your own curriculum. Right? Your friends, your social media, your content that you consume, the thoughts that you allow to fester in your brain, all of these things are your teachers. These are your influences. You control it. You're the program director. You decide what songs play. You decide. If you're not happy with the life that you're living, do something about it. It may take some time. It takes some time to throw all the old records out and accumulate new songs. Like once you've curated a playlist and you've got your jams lined up the way you want them to go, you get accustomed to that playlist. You know what song comes next. You know how this is going to work. Now, if I'm asking you to delete the playlist so that you can create a new emotion, that's going to be frustrating for you because you put a lot of time and energy into that playlist. Now you have to find new songs that create new moods, new vibes. That's how you have to treat your life. What's on your playlist? What is on your life playlist? What are you consuming? Whatever's on your playlist, those are your seeds. Those are your seeds. And when it's harvest time, what are you going to have? A peach tree or an orange tree? Whatever type of fruit you want to grow is up to you. But what's going to be on your tree? All right? Why do we accept information from people who show no signs of knowing how to get there? How many underachievers have we allowed to talk us out of achievements of our own? Why do we allow teachers to teach us fear?
I've been told they're in charge of society, at least the last one.
Okay. So we already established that you guys are rebels, you don't even listen to society.
There's a program. Keep you comfortable.
So what do you really fear?
This is back to yourself.
Yeah.
Own success.
What do you really fear?
Wow.
It's not failure. Listen, if we fear failure, what will we do to it?
Scared of it.
We will stay away from it, right?
Yeah.
So it's not failure that we fear. If we're striving for success and it keeps eluding us, what is it that we fear?
Not succeeding.
We fear success itself, not failure. Failure is what we learn to live in. We talk about accepting jobs that we don't even want. We're not even happy about. Accepting friends, right, that we know are not beneficial to us. But we fear the conflict that might come from having to cut them off. We fear the subliminal diss we might get on Instagram because we ain't answering the phone call, knowing they talk about us. That's what we fear. But what is that? If you cut them off and they diss you, is that a failure? Or is that success?
Success.
So what do we fear?
Success.
We fear success. You're unsuccessful at this stage in your life because you fear what would happen if you actually succeed. You fear the discipline that's required to succeed. You fear the decisions that you have to make in order to be successful. You fear stepping outside of your comfort zone into a place of unknown, this unknown place, because it's not comfortable. You fear that so much that you'll exist right outside of it because it's comfortable. Stop lying to yourself saying that you fear failure. No, you've accepted failure. You fear success. That's the reality. That's the reality. Because as soon as somebody tells you, hey, if you do this, and this will happen. What are we programmed to say?
Jump, tap dance.
If we did that, that would be great. But the first thing the mind starts doing is, well, what if we don't? Because if you jump from this table to this table, it's $1 million waiting for you. But what if I don't make it? You know how you gotta be when it comes to success? Before I even finish the sentence. Chris, if you jump from this to boom, Chris, what the hell? I didn't even tell you, bro. I heard table. I know what we dealing with here. I know it was some benefit. I just wanted to make sure I was already here before you even finish that statement, because I want to get what I got coming to me. That's why I get on you sometimes about, yo, Jay, don't wait for me to tell you what to do. Just do it. Ask for forgiveness, not permission. Certain times you know we're dealing with success, so if I tell you to do something, you know that success is going to be on the other end. So if I tell you, Chris, if you jump from this table to that table, you should already be on this table before I tell you what's coming. Because you know we're only dealing with success. That's the relationship we have. We're only dealing with success. We're only dealing with things that's going to benefit you. That's how fast you got to be to make that decision. Because if you don't move that fast, what sets in? Doubt. You start thinking about what you got to do, right? So you got to be quick. You got to beat doubt to the punch. Because doubt's coming. As soon as you come up with a plan, what's the first thing that happens? As soon as you develop the plan, what comes right behind it? What's that? The what ifs. The doubt. Anybody else? What comes right behind that plan? As soon as you decide, I'm going to wake up in the morning, I'm going to run 5 miles tomorrow. And then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to hit the bench, do my push-ups, burn pool. As soon as you make that decision, what happens?
Yeah, that's true. Because today when I woke up, because obviously I live like a little bit more than an hour. Like I put my alarm, and I was about to go, but then I felt mad tired. I was like, yo, should I just stay? And then I stayed for like another 5 minutes in my bed, and my thoughts were like, I'm gonna just stay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I stay longer in my bed, so that's the thoughts that would come.
And this, guys, this happened right too. You know you got a homework assignment to do.
Wait till last minute.
Don't wait, bro. No, in college they give y'all a syllabus. You know the work weeks in advance. But instead of you getting the syllabus and saying, yo, for the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna bang out this whole syllabus, so I ain't got nothing to worry about for the rest of the semester. You know what you do? Wait till the night before. Some of us even go to the teacher and be like, hey, miss, come on, miss, you know, because you got the relationship with her. Miss, come on, miss, you know I get that extension. You got the syllabus in August. You got the syllabus in August. Telling you what was due in October. October 15th, you got to hand this assignment in. You got the syllabus August 15th. October 14th, you send in the email. Yes.
Bro, I've done that so many times.
Can I get this extension? That's how we treat life. That's not fearing failure. That's flirting with failure. We flirting with it, like, because there's a strong possibility she say, no, you have more than enough time. Some of us send an email on the 15th. You don't even give yourself enough time to make it through by the skin of your teeth. You love failure so much, you go to her on the day it's due. While everybody is handing it in. Hey, Liz, I think I can get an extension on that. On the due date? You love failure that much that you. We'll take that risk all day. But we won't take the risk in August 15th getting the syllabus and being done with the whole semester's worth of work by August 25th. That's how fast you jump through it. All right, we're gonna go to this thing. We're gonna bypass what are their teaching origins, right? And we're gonna, and I wanna go past like who taught them, because I think we challenged all of these things already, right? This is what I want to get into, right? Remaining effect. Or the Rosenthal experiment. This is how we're going to end this off, because we got to close. So, higher expectations lead to higher performance. Our belief about others leads into our actions towards others. And then that affects their belief about themselves and then their actions. All right, so check this out. If I, you gotta go?
Yeah.
All right, bro. If I come through and I'm talking to Jairus, I've already made up in my mind that Jairus and JT, all they do is complain, because I know them, right? All they do is complain about stuff. And Dior nags me about stuff. How am I going to teach her and them? Am I going to teach based on what I know and my capabilities, or am I going to teach according to their personalities? My perception of them. It might not even be their true personalities, it's just my perception. For all I know, Dior could be a nag because at home she's having some issues that cause her to be that. It's not who she is, it's just a circumstance she's dealing with, right? These two individuals here, they could be slow to accomplish certain things because of the things that they might be facing at home or in their lives or personally. Might not necessarily be who they are, it's just something that they're dealing with. Right? Okay, so the Rosenthal experiment was this. Harvard researcher and a principal got together and they created this experiment. And in this experiment, they created a fake IQ test. And this fake IQ test, it basically stated that these kids were exceptional, right? This group of kids were exceptional, and these group of kids weren't. So they gave out these tests, kids took the test, and they got the fake scores back. Really, they just picked names out of a hat. There were no scores. Just picked the names out of the hat. So let's say everybody in this room took the test, and we got to select 4 names. Jaden, Delano, Ray, Jairus. Those are the 4 names, all right? Now those 4 names were taken out of the hat and given to these teachers, okay? And they were told that these 4 students' scores were off the charts. They scored exceptionally well. These students are insanely bright, like off the charts. Shouldn't even be in this grade, okay? But here's the thing, teachers, you can't tell them that they are. We don't want them to feel any different than the other kids. You can't tell them that they're bright. We just want you to know their scores, but we can never tell them. How do you think the teachers respond to
The
these
actions
things?
already.
Here's the funny part. The study is done again with students who are underperformers. But they told the teachers that these students were exceptionally bright. What do you think happened to their school grades?
Oh,
So now, I could just treat JT like some random Asian kid that just wants to play basketball. Some Jeremy Lin. Great. Nice try. Not gonna happen for you. Or I can actually treat him like a real person. Forget his race. Forget where he lives. Forget his circumstance. Just treat him like a real person. Is he the same player that you met last summer?
No.
But when JT goes and tries out, he's dealing with people that look at him that way. How does he perform?
Subpar.
How do you perform?
Same way.
You don't perform the way you perform here. You perform according to the level of expectation that they have for you, right? So we go back to this. Our belief about others determines our action towards others, which determines the belief about themselves, and then that determines their actions. One of the craziest things that I have, like with the different players that I train, is each player thinks another player is my favorite. It's hilarious to me. I spend mad time with Jake outside of workouts, right? But Jake thinks Wee's my favorite. Right? Now I can spend way more time with JT, but then JT might think Lucas and Grace are my favorites. But then when I get up with Grace, Grace can see how much time I'm with you and Jake and think, not that she does, but it'd be easy to think that she's missing out because every time she sees a workout, you and JT are there. The truth is I don't have favorites. I favor hard work. Whoever shows up. If you show up, we're gonna be the best of friends. Because you can. There's sometimes I know Jarvis comes in and he feels like stupid. He might feel like that about everybody in the workout. Because everybody getting after him. But what he never tells himself is, maybe I actually care. That's the last thing that he says. That's why I be on JT about patience. Because I want him to remember what it felt like when he was on this side. Have some empathy. Have some empathy. Right? I want you guys to understand this, man. There's 4 different things that we're looking for in teachers, right? Climate. Is it a warm, safe environment? Do you feel like you're free to express yourself, free to learn, we're about to soon, free to learn, free to do the things that we need to do? So climate, right? Our interactions with our teachers as far as how they teach us. A large part of teaching is the dialogue. The reason why I'm inclusive like this is because it's not just about me. Right? When a lot of times you go to certain situations and it's like, you feel like, man, I'm just copying stuff off the board. I don't even know what the hell's going on because it's not interactive. It's not inclusive. It's not. Some of you guys think you hate math or you hate a particular subject. It's not. It's teaching. It's teaching. That's it. It has to be inclusive. Right? You feel included in what's going on right now? So you'll probably retain this. Some of you guys will probably remember these classes more than you remember anything you learned in school. Just because it's inclusive. Yeah. And you have a voice, you have input, you decide how it goes. You decide. The pressure is on. Like I'm expecting you guys when this is all said and done, and we've done our classes, you know, and awards are given out or whatever, you completed this class or whatever, there will be those. When it's all said and done, it's tag your it. It ain't, thanks Coach Matt, loved it. No. That's not what happens now. What happens next is you gotta go out into the world and kill it. And if not, then you better be ducking my phone call because I'm gonna be like, yo bro, what's up? Like you just went through all of that and you ain't, where you at with it? You can't complete classes like this and then go and be average. Like, what's going on? Right? So then that's where we go input. How our teachers implement new teachings. After I give you the information, I gotta check in with you. Make sure that you are activating that information in your own lives. What's the point of teaching you something that you can't use? If I'm truly about what I'm teaching, I'm gonna stand on it. And I'm gonna say, yo, Ray, what's up, man? I'm No, you ain't living in that same spot. When you started the class, you had $200 in your pocket. You ain't got at least 2,000 yet? So what you was doing all that time? You still afraid of success, huh? You still ain't taking no risks, huh? You still allowing yourself to teach yourself failure, the wrong thing, right? So input. All right, next thing, response opportunity. Our ability to engage in dialogue with our teachers concerning what's being taught. Right? So response opportunity. Even when we're training, what am I looking for from you guys all the time? Basketball training, engagement. I dare you to ask me, yo coach, what does this do? What's this for? I know my stuff, bro. This ain't some drill I just seen on YouTube and just brought it in here on Instagram and like, yo, we about to do this in here. That's why a lot of times people, like, look, there are some drills visually that don't translate into the game, like when you look at it. But I can show y'all what we're doing, curl out progressions, right? Like how we just did curl out progressions. I can show y'all how, if you go to Grace's page right now, you'll see the curl out progression in full effect. I'm trying to tell you. That's what we was doing this entire time in Elizabeth. So my response to her stories was, hey, this looks familiar. Right? So, response opportunity. I encourage you guys, speak your mind, man. Because that's how you really learn. That's how you really own the information. You got questions? Ask them. I don't believe in that, oh, that's a dumb question. No, listen. JT asked me questions to things that he already knows the answer to. We know this. JT will ask you, so you mean like this? He does it every time. Do I ever stop you from doing that?
No.
I answer the question every time. I'm determined to allow him to be 100% himself and figure out what himself even means without shutting him down. I'm not gonna try to stop him from being who he is. I want him to be comfortable in his own skin, so when he steps out into the world, he has that confidence. Love me or hate me, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm not gonna waver because you don't like me. I'm not gonna be affected by that. Now, how do I teach him that? By doing what I gotta do, regardless of whether or not I like what's going on. I might not like every single way that he does but I'm not screaming and yelling at him. I'm like, Jay, put a little bit more force in the dribble. Yeah, do it this way. Boom. A little bit more body movement. Boom. Sometimes I can tell him the same thing 4 times in a row and he makes no adjustment. But it's my job to keep teaching, right? Keep teaching, keep teaching, keep teaching. As an entrepreneur, there's gonna be moments when you have to do that. As an entrepreneur, you can never stop teaching. Because once you stop teaching, you stop learning. I'm learning as we go. You guys are telling me, teaching me, right? As a mentor, you guys are teaching me. The questions that you have, your response. If I come in here and the room is dead, I gotta change it up. Change it up. All right, last thing, feedback. How we are advised when putting our teachers into action. I know for a fact that JT was looking for feedback 90 out of 100 workouts. And I purposely didn't give him any. Why?
Build his own confidence and self-feeling and self.
I know JT, there were times where JT would be like, workouts, he didn't say anything to me. He'll come over to me like, hey coach, am I doing this okay? I don't know, right? I just want to know. I mean, because you're saying stuff to everybody else, but you're not saying anything to me. I didn't start saying anything to him because he said that.
Right.
In fact, I ignored him even more. Because I wanted him to have the confidence in himself. He don't know that I'm doing this. I want him to figure it out. He probably just now understanding that that's what I was doing this whole time. But I knew that he was so unsure of himself that he was looking for that all the time. But I also knew that if he's looking for that and I give it to him, am I setting him up for success or failure when he goes and tries out at the high school, when the high school coach don't give a damn? The average coach ain't giving you feedback, right? You get subbed out and you sit there, you gotta figure it out.
Like, why?
Get out the game. Get him. Go get him. Get him out of there.
That be happening.
Come there, you sit down on the bench.
What did I do?
You just got screamed at. Coach don't even give you, he don't even give you one to eat. You just gotta go sit down and figure it out. You might not get back in the game. You might not play the next 2 games because of that one mistake. I've coached JT a bunch of times. I tell JT, yo, JT, call the time out. AJ, this one you gonna do, you gonna go to the wing. Go catch the ball. She a shot. I got it, man. JT gets in, goes to the block, stands right there. Yo, coach JT. JT, why'd I pull you out the game? I don't know. What'd I tell you to do? Oh, you said go to the wing, man. What'd you do, JT? Oh, I stood on the block. Why? I don't know. Sit down for a second. A minute. Yo, at the 5-minute mark, go back in. I knew he's gonna do the same thing again. At least I give an opportunity to see. That's what we all need. We all need the opportunity to see, right? We all need the opportunity. We need that feedback. That's my feedback. Teach. Loosen up the leash. Let you go out there, see what you do. Give you feedback. Now, if I bench him for the rest of the game, he's gonna think I'm like everybody else. Does he learn anything? In fact, I might be reinforcing his lack of self-confidence. I really didn't realize that. All right, cool. So we're gonna end this, man. Let's do this. I want to open the floor. If you have to go, you can go. But I want to open the floor for anybody that may have some questions, some comments, something they want to discuss. In the journal, take what we talked about. Talk about what you've taught yourself. At the end of the night, at the end of the day, before you go to bed, I want you to write in the journal, what did you teach yourself for today? All right? And what are you allowing yourself to be taught? So write in your journal, get that. Jay, don't worry, I got you. And we'll figure that out. Okay. First and foremost, do you guys have anything you want to talk about? Maybe you want some advice on something that you're currently struggling with right now.
Removing those friends, like, in that point where you're like, still cool with these people.
Yeah.
You know, purpose. Yeah, but that I'm not getting anything out of them.
Right.
And it's just, I even, like I said, I turned the thing on Do Not Disturb, so I don't even really see at the time
Well,
what they're.
sometimes you don't have to remove them. You just have to replace them.
Okay.
It's easier.
Yeah.
It's not about removing them. Right? You just have to replace them.
Like it's like I heard this saying. It's like if you can't change your friends, change your friends.
Right.
Mm.
Exactly that.
You said you did too?
You just replace them. You know what I mean? It might be, you know what? I believe in Jaden. He's a young guy. I think I got something I can offer him. I'm gonna start texting Jaden. I get more out of that. At least if I'm texting Jaden, I'm older. I gotta make moves a certain way because I can't tell him something that I'm not really about. That's why I'll talk to you and show you guys things like my credit score or if I just get approved for some line of credit or something like that. I can't talk about this stuff if I'm not actively doing it.
Gotcha.
Right? So you don't think I got friends my age that I can talk to?
You.
But I don't.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't.
Yeah.
So you guys become, I replace it. with you guys, right? That's why we'll go and grab something to eat.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend my time doing that. The hard thing is getting you guys to answer me back. So then I feel like I'm the clown. You know, Dio don't like talking to nobody. You know how many times I've been sitting Dio and hate these texts?
Oh, man.
I'm telling you, I stopped sending it. I stopped sending it. I'd be like, hey, Bees, how you? 5 days later, hey! Really, Dio? Really? You just seen it just now? Really? That's what we're gonna do? Jaden, he just started carrying his phone. I don't know. Like,
Look at him, man.
I don't know how this works. You know what I mean? I chased D for a year. I chased him for a whole year. I just became uncle. Like, this is new. This is new. I was Coach Matt for a whole year. I just became uncle. I had to earn that. I put work in. Understand? It's a lot of unanswered text messages. Like, Dio ain't got nothing on D. I will text D in January. D hit me in April like, yo, I was meaning to get back with you. Straight up. I need to hit you, but I had a lot going on.
Always.
4 months of a lot going on, D?
That's your theme song.
A lot going on.
That's your theme song.
Damn, homie.
I'm into that one. But I got you. I know what you're saying, though.
But I get it. I understand because we, you know, it takes time too. It takes time to add people to the circle.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
That's why I
You're
asked
so
you a
used to
question.
like
Yeah.
going through the funny stuff or whatever, you know. Now I gotta deal with this guy. If I don't answer him in 5 seconds, come on, man, come on, man, come on, man, what you doing over there, man? Come on, man, come on, man. I'm over here texting you. You ain't texting me back. Really, bro? That's how the tables are turned. But it's all good. Like I expect to have a separate relationship with everybody like that, right? And it's a lifelong thing. You know, you should have been hitting me regardless of whether you was playing basketball or not. Right on. You ain't playing no basketball. It's not about basketball. I keep telling you guys, it's not about basketball. And if basketball is our only connection, you missed it and I failed you. Because the ball eventually stops bouncing.
Yeah.
Eventually, it stops bouncing. And life sets in. And you gotta figure some things out. I want you guys to be able to figure those things out before the ball stops bouncing so it doesn't catch you by surprise. A lot of kids that I work with, man, they're done because the ball stopped bouncing and they weren't ready. They weren't ready. So I want you guys to understand that. So like, anybody else have anything?
Speaking of your friend thing, picking your friends, when my new high school that I'm going to, I know like one person that's on there, and I was thinking about trying to connect to him and connect to all like the other basketball players or just people that go there in general.
Right.
And we were talking about on Monday about like going to tryouts.
Right.
Being comfortable with people that you're trying out with. That's what I was thinking about doing,
Yeah.
but I don't really just.
So there's no way that you can just do like make that happen. If anybody has to go, please let me know. Alright, I don't want to hold anybody up. There's no way. It's 12:27, almost 12:30. There's no way for you to comfortably set yourself up. Right? There's no way for you to do it. The best thing that you can do is tap into your resources. People that have gone through what you're going through. Right? So you got resources like, yo, what adjustments did you have to make? How did you do this? I'm gonna tell you, the fastest way you can make friends in the school, like in terms of like basketball, is just going and killing. I'm just telling you, you want to make friends in basketball, just kill.
Pretty much.
And everybody, listen, Jake's first game in Arizona, he was alright. Second game, he had a couple joints, hit a crazy half-court shot. It was cool. By his third game, he was starting to establish himself defensively. You know, next thing you know, what's your Instagram? What's it? People just want to see that you're killing. In basketball, that's all it comes down to, bro. You could be the worst human being in the world, but if you kill it, we all know dudes that are famous at the high school level in basketball. Everybody's following them, but you know by watching this person, whether it's day in life video, whether it's what they post on Instagram, you know they're absolute jerks. You know it, like, oh man, this is male and female. You know, like, oh, this person is full of themselves, bro. Like, I don't even. The personality just bleeds through. You know it, but people still follow them because they kill them. All you gotta do is kill. You gotta walk in there with a certain confidence, bro. And like, it's cool because being quiet is cool. People are trying to figure that out. Like, how can he be so nice and be so quiet? Like, he's nice and bald, but he quiet. You don't really. Do you think he's slick? He mess everybody up because he wear bow ties. They're expecting him to be like the typical playboy, like, you know, dressed like everybody else, with real skinny jeans on, and the hats and all that. And he don't dress like that. So it throws everybody off. They don't expect him to have like this eclectic side. You just gotta be 100% yourself, man. I'm telling you. And
It's true.
The people, you'll have your pick. You don't have to even really pick anybody. You'll have your pick. 2-3 years ago, I watched Dior. She kind of like was in that in between stage. I don't really care if people like me or not, but I kind of do, but I don't. Like, I care until I find out who you are, and I realize you're a waste of time. I don't want to deal with you no more. Like, I'm mad that I even cared that I cared. Right? Like, I watched her go through this. Even though she don't really talk to me like that, I just watch people. And then she's a little bougie too, academically. So it's like certain things are like beneath her. Like, I'm wasting my time with that. That's what you guys are doing? I was doing that when I was in junior high school. Like, academically, that's how she gives it up. So I understand why it could be somewhat awkward sometimes because it's all about the stimulating conversation. It don't move me if I'm not learning anything from you. I don't want to deal with that. I don't have no time for that. Right? Ray's situation may be, his brain is operating on a different vibration. And he's isolating himself because he doesn't think people are going to accept the way that he thinks. His first conversation was, now you might think I'm a little crazy. So I have to establish with him from the very beginning, you're right. You're not too crazy for me, bro. You knew my life, like I'm open to whatever. So say what you're gonna say. He's still tap dancing around what he wants to say. Because he's thinking that what's in his brain is so deep that's gonna scare me away. Like he's gonna say something that's gonna make me run out the gym like, yo, this kid is out of his mind. Didn't happen. Now we cool. Because I really don't care. I'm gonna be honest with you, like I really don't, whatever you want is cool with me. Just be whoever you are. You could come in here with the black trench coat on and the black fingernail paint and all that other stuff, and everybody think you about to shoot the place up. And I'm like, yo, what's up? How you? I'm just comfortable with myself. Sometimes our perception of people says more about what we think about ourselves than what we think about people.
Yeah.
So Ray might think he's weird. I think he's dope. So I'm gonna handle him like I think he's dope. I think he's intelligent. Right? I'm gonna show you something, Ray, while I'm talking to you. I'm only gonna share it with you though. Let me stop this.